Hello, fellow seekers of wisdom and growth. Welcome back to Inkwell Insights, your haven for exploring transformative ideas found within the pages of remarkable books. Here, we believe that books aren't just repositories of stories, but potent catalysts for personal evolution, offering profound insights that can reshape how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. Have you ever looked back at your life and wondered if you were truly living it on your own terms? Have you ever questioned the values instilled in you, wondering if they truly align with your authentic self? What if the very foundations of your understanding were built on shifting sands? What does it truly mean to forge your own identity, especially when the forces shaping you are deeply entrenched? How much are we shaped by our families, our communities, and the beliefs they hold dear? Is it possible to break free from these constraints? And what price might we pay for such liberation? And ultimately, what does it mean to be truly educated beyond the confines of textbooks and classrooms? Today, we delve into a memoir that grapples with these profound questions, a story that is both deeply personal and universally resonant. We're exploring Educated by Tara Westover, a book that has captivated readers worldwide with its unflinching honesty, its intellectual rigor, and its ultimate message of hope. This isn't just another rags-to-riches story, it's a testament to the power of self-discovery, the resilience of the human spirit, and the transformative potential of education, not simply as a means to an end, but as a journey of becoming. It's a story about the arduous, sometimes painful, process of separating oneself from deeply ingrained beliefs and ultimately finding one's own truth. What makes Educated so powerful is its unwavering commitment to exploring the complexities of family, faith, and the courage it takes to challenge the narratives we inherit. So, settle in, open your minds, and let's embark on this journey of exploration together. At the heart of Educated lies the profound concept of intellectual and personal autonomy, the ability to think for oneself, to critically evaluate information, and to ultimately make choices that align with one's own values and aspirations, even when those choices diverge from the expectations of family and community. In our increasingly interconnected and often polarized world, this autonomy is more vital than ever. We are bombarded with information from all sides, often presented with a persuasive slant, designed to influence our opinions and actions. The ability to discern fact from fiction, to analyze information objectively, and to form our own conclusions is not just a skill, it's a necessity for navigating the complexities of modern life. How often do we blindly accept the narratives presented to us, simply because they come from trusted sources, whether it's our family, our community, or the media we consume? Think of the corporate executive climbing the ladder of success, sacrificing personal well-being and family time, believing that material wealth and career advancement are the ultimate measures of worth. He may never stop to question whether this relentless pursuit is truly fulfilling or whether it's simply a reflection of societal expectations and corporate conditioning. Or consider the social media influencer, constantly striving for validation through likes and followers, shaping their entire identity around the perceptions of others. They might be sacrificing genuine connection and personal authenticity in the pursuit of fleeting online fame. Another example might be the individual who remains trapped in a toxic relationship, clinging to the belief that they can change their partner despite repeated patterns of abuse or manipulation. They might be prioritizing the comfort of familiarity over their own safety and well-being, failing to exercise their agency to choose a healthier path. And what about the person who adheres strictly to a political ideology, dismissing any information that contradicts their pre-existing beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming evidence? They might be sacrificing intellectual honesty and critical thinking in favor of maintaining their ideological purity. Finally, consider the individual who spends their life fulfilling their parents' dreams, pursuing a career they don't enjoy, or marrying someone they don't love, all in the name of familial obligation. They may be sacrificing their own happiness and fulfillment to satisfy the expectations of others, never truly living a life of their own choosing. As the philosopher John Stuart Mill eloquently stated, "He who lets the world, or his own portion of it, choose his plan of life for him, has no need of any other faculty than the ape-like one of imitation. He who chooses his plan for himself employs all his faculties. This powerful quote encapsulates the essence of intellectual autonomy, the freedom and responsibility to chart our own course, to question, to explore, and to ultimately define ourselves. In Educated, Tara Westover chronicles her journey from a survivalist upbringing in rural Idaho to earning a PhD from Cambridge University. Her story is not just about academic achievement, it's about the arduous and often painful process of forging her own identity, separating herself from the deeply ingrained beliefs of her family, and ultimately claiming her own intellectual and personal autonomy. Tara's father, Gene, a devout Mormon with strong anti-government beliefs, kept his children out of mainstream society, including formal education. He believed in self-sufficiency and preparing for the days of tribulation, a period of societal collapse he saw as imminent. Tara and her siblings spent their childhoods working in their father's junkyard, often in hazardous conditions. Education was viewed with suspicion, and formal schooling was seen as a tool of government indoctrination. Tara's mother, Faye, was a midwife and herbalist, providing alternative medical care to the community. While she initially supported her husband's beliefs, she gradually became more involved in the outside world, expanding her herbal business and eventually attending college herself. This shift in her mother's perspective provided Tara with a glimpse of a different way of life. The turning point in Tara's life came when her brother, Tyler, left home to attend college. His success inspired Tara to consider education as a path to a different future. Despite having no formal schooling, she taught herself algebra and trigonometry and scored high enough on the ACT to be admitted to Brigham Young University, BYU. At BYU, Tara was confronted with a world vastly different from the one she had known. She struggled to adapt to the academic environment, grappling with fundamental concepts in history, science, and social sciences. She felt alienated and overwhelmed, questioning her own identity and her place in the world. Her lack of formal education left her feeling behind and unprepared. For example, she was unaware of the Holocaust, a historical event so foundational to Western understanding that its omission from her education left her profoundly shaken. This realization highlighted the vast gap between her understanding of the world and that of her peers. As Tara progressed in her studies, she began to question the beliefs she had grown up with. She challenged her father's conspiracy theories, his distrust of doctors, and his rigid interpretation of Mormonism. This questioning led to conflict with her family, particularly her father and her brother Sean, who exhibited violent and controlling behavior. She had to grapple with the painful realization that her family's beliefs were not necessarily aligned with her own, and that pursuing her education would require her to distance herself from them. Tara's education allowed her to develop critical thinking skills, enabling her to analyze information objectively and to form her own conclusions. She learned to question authority, to challenge assumptions, and to seek evidence to support her beliefs. This newfound intellectual autonomy empowered her to make choices that aligned with her own values, even when those choices were unpopular with her family. One of the most poignant examples of this autonomy is Tara's decision to seek medical treatment for a back injury she sustained in the junkyard. Her father vehemently opposed doctors, believing that faith and herbal remedies were sufficient for healing. However, Tara, after witnessing the limitations of her mother's herbal treatments, decided to consult a doctor, ultimately undergoing surgery to repair the damage. This decision, while seemingly straightforward, represented a profound act of self-assertion, a rejection of her father's worldview, and an embrace of her own well-being. Her journey was not without its challenges. As she gained more knowledge, she found herself increasingly alienated from her family, who struggled to understand her new perspectives. She faced accusations of being brainwashed by the liberal academic establishment and was ostracized for questioning their beliefs. She experienced profound guilt and sadness as she realized that her pursuit of education was creating a chasm between her and her loved ones. She was forced to confront the painful reality that pursuing her own path might mean sacrificing her relationships with her family. Despite the difficulties, Tara persevered. She found support and guidance from mentors and professors who recognized her potential and encouraged her to continue her education. She earned a scholarship to study at Cambridge University, where she continued to excel academically. Her time at Cambridge allowed her to further refine her critical thinking skills, to broaden her understanding of the world, and to develop a more nuanced perspective on her own upbringing. Ultimately, Educated is a story about the transformative power of education, not just in terms of academic achievement, but in terms of personal growth and self-discovery. It's a story about the courage it takes to challenge deeply ingrained beliefs, to forge one's own identity, and to claim one's own intellectual and personal autonomy. It's a story about the enduring power of the human spirit to overcome adversity and to create a life of meaning and purpose. The book's structure itself underscores this journey. Tara doesn't present a neat, linear narrative. Instead, she weaves together her memories, reflecting on them with the wisdom she gained through her education. This fragmented approach mirrors the messy, nonlinear process of self-discovery. Tara's story also highlights the limitations of a purely dogmatic upbringing.